Welcome to the Business Behind the Scene podcast with Francesca Moi, where we talk all about real business problems, real solutions, and getting actual results in your business. Hello and welcome to episode of the Business Behind the Scene 213. Oh my goodness. And today I wanted to focus about one industry that it's really emerging at the moment, and a lot of our clients are from the industry. So I know that a lot of you listening will find this valuable. So we're focusing on e-commerce, but to be honest, you can apply this to any businesses out there. But we're talking specifically here on e-commerce. But as I said, I'm going to try to make it open to anybody else. So we're going to talk about the $50,000 mistake, how hiring wrong can kill your growth and how to fix it. So a lot of business owners react on when to hire. They don't have a hiring roadmap. And we're going to talk about that today because it's one of the biggest common mistakes that I'm hearing when people are doing that. So the first thing we want to focus on is hiring locally versus hiring offshore and what's actually working for top brands that are doing that. So hiring locally has got some really good benefits. And one of them is that the local hires understand your slang, understand the way you talk, what's working in the industry. Like they're in here, they're in your office, they get the groove, right? Which is really good. It's easy in-person collaboration. And if obviously it's in the office, sometimes people hire local, like in your country, but then it's actually not even in the office, which is, what is the benefit then when you're I don't get it. So yes, sometimes it's good for my team to also work from home, but they have to be in the office at least 3 days a week, and they can handle highly strategic and leadership roles. But what happened is that a lot of people hired locally, they are bogged down with little tasks. And this is why I wanted to do this podcast, to understand how to have each local hire should have their own offshore staff that you delegate to, so that they delegate to, so that they don't get bogged down into the day-to-day task and they can get focused on the strategic stuff. The cons of hiring people locally is obviously it's expensive. It can cost from $50,000 to $100,000 a year, limited talent pool. So obviously there is not that many people that you can choose from, slower hiring process, and really high cost in training and getting people to have to skill. And it's harder to find people to actually want to do all the tasks, from the harder task to the repetitive tasks. So it's actually quite limited what you can get someone locally to do. But then if you hire offshore, then we're going to talk about a little bit of the smarter scaling strategy that a lot of my clients e-commerce are focusing on. The pros is 50 to 70% cost savings on salaries without sacrificing quality, because they are actually outstanding people. Access to global talent pools. So there is no scarcity. Like literally you can find so many specialized people that can work for you. Offshore team excel in admin, operations, customer service, marketing, all the things that sometimes it's hard to find locally. 24/7 business support, especially for e-commerce, is just priceless. So you could have a person working from the Philippines during the day if you're in Australia, and you can have someone in Colombia during the night to cover yourself 24/7, which is fantastic. Allows local team to focus on high-level strategies and revenue growth, so that you can actually grow the business. Now, the cons when you hire people offshore is obviously require proper onboarding and SOPs to ensure that they get integrated in the business properly. And this is something that a lot of people fall short in because they're maybe not ready and they're hiring too late. And I'm going to talk about this later. The cultural time zone difference sometimes, but we're usually quite good because we hire in the Philippines. For Australia is quite good. So that's not really a big issue, but it could be. I need clear communication and KPI tracking, because remember, I said that before, doers don't do what checkers don't check. So what's working in the moment for 7+ figures e-commerce brands is that they're hiring offshore first for repeatable process-driven tasks. And those are really the things that you want to do so that you can support your local staff members as well. They're keeping leadership roles and co-branding building tasks locally to local staff members, and anything else is delegated over offshore. And then using team members onshore and offshore, they can do both. So if someone gets sick, you have someone that can cover. And this happened to me once, is that one of my operational managers here locally quit, and one of my offshore staff were like, don't worry, I get it. I was like, wait, what? This is an operation role. You sure? Yeah, I got it. And she did. And it was amazing. I was like, oh, fantastic. This is great. So I could give her an amazing pay rise because And obviously what a great cut for the business. So one of the things that the most common mistakes that cost really $50,000 plus to e-commerce brands, and as I said, you can put that into any businesses, is that they're hiring reactively instead of strategically. So many brands, e-commerce, in this case, I want to talk about e-commerce founders, is that they wait until they drown to hire someone, right? Why? Because of the nature of the business. As e-commerce, you have the highs, you have the lows, you have the moments that is going amazing, the moments that is not. And so sometimes we wait until everything is perfect and it's continuously high for us to make that call to hire someone and to invest in someone. We're like, oh, we got this local team member, they're doing well. But then if someone in the team is drowning, it's not good, because then what happens is that it leads to rushed, last minute hires, instead of really finding the right fit. Like, you want to hire slow and fire fast. And we cannot do that if we're hiring when anybody is drowning, either you or one of your team members. And so we need to create a hiring roadmap. And we've done that. We wanted to sort of share that with you. And then I'll come back to some more mistakes if I got time. If not, I'll do a part 2 on this. So there is like a hiring roadmap. So if you think about $4 to $5 million e-commerce business, you should delegate first admin, customer service, social media, all the things that like are the first to hire. And then 5 to 7 million in revenue we're talking about. We can go into more operations and marketing, so marketing assistant, supply chain coordinator, retention specialist, and so on. And then 5 mil to 10 mil plus, then we can actually hire offshore for leadership and automation. So operation managers, paid advertising strategy, AI specialists, and so on. So all of those things can, once you have a roadmap, then you just look in your numbers. You're like, okay, this is where I am now, and this is what I've got to do. So one other mistake that people do is not defining the role. And so they hire someone to just do everything. And I don't believe that that works very well. So I like to categorize my business into different departments and then hire per department. So it's like, okay, I've got a local staff member that maybe is doing everything. And so, because that's usually how it is, right? You hire the first person locally and they do everything, and then you hire a second person locally and they also do everything. And so when I start to have a couple of people, I like to start to divide. So you do customer service and admin, you do marketing and sales, and then slowly you continue to divide down even more. So then you get an assistant for admin only, and you get an assistant for customer service only for that one local person, right? That does both. And then you get an assistant for the marketing person and assistant for the salesperson that can help them. So you just keep going down and separate it for one department at a time. And that really works quite well. Because if not, what we're doing is that we lead to my third mistake, which is we are waiting for the superhuman. I call it a unicorn VA, like a unicorn offshore staff, or unicorn team member even in Australia. So, or locally, it's not sustainable. So expecting one person to do everything just doesn't work. It leads to burnout, low efficiency, quick turnover. You keep changing the person, keep having to train them. So as soon as you can, delegate the roles and create specified roles is going to be the best thing that you can do for your business. Also, the other thing that people do wrong is they poor delegating and poor onboarding training. This is why I wrote my book, The Power of Delegation, to help business owners to delegate properly. So if you haven't got a copy, grab it. It's on Amazon, it's on audiobook soon, it's on my website, empoweringvirtualsolution.com. So you can find it everywhere. And then the last thing I wanted to share with you guys is not tracking performance. As I said before, doers don't do what checkers don't check. So you cannot just get someone on board and then not give them a KPI and then not check them. You have to really set trackable KPI, check them, stay on top of them, coach them, support them to get to the next level, and support them with a strategy that works as well. So if you are an e-commerce, we have an onboarding plan for e-commerce. We have a clarity on the task that you can delegate for an e-commerce. It's all in there for you. We are focusing on e-commerce heavily this year because we have so many clients from e-commerce and they're working amazingly. So start to delegate down for your local staff members, for yourself. So we got e-commerce that are, as I said, delegating for the staff, but they're also delegating for themselves they're getting an EA, they're getting an operational manager, so they can help them lead and supervise all those people. So if you're one of those, reach out to us because we have your back. We can really help you and support you to scale the business. Don't make those $50,000 mistake or more, because I know that, and don't hire when you drown, or when one of your staff members drown. get someone before any of you drown, because it's not fun to drown. Thank you so much for listening. As always, I keep this nice and short. We're also running a Level Up conference in May 2025. Do not miss it, because at this conference, we're going to have between 120 to 150 people there, and business owners there. And it's going to be a great opportunity for you to come along. 22nd and 23rd of May. We have some price breakdowns that coming up. The price is going up soon. So check it and come along. I look forward to see you there. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this amazing podcast. Now, if you enjoyed this, you're definitely going to love my Facebook group, where I've got over 11,000 people in it, and they're all business owners successful like you. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge, and in there I do classes every week, and I get to interview my clients, and I get to teach you all the things that I've done to get my business to 100K plus a month. So I look forward to have you in there. It's called the Successful Entrepreneur Lounge Facebook group in Facebook. I look forward to see you there. Ciao.